What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge Lights and Gear, and I got another review for you today. And, well, quite frankly, this one, it's a gear review. It's not a light review. But it is from a light company. Interesting, right? You're like, well, if it's not a flashlight, Jason, what is it? Well, this is the Next Torch Pioneer Multi-Tool. And guys, this thing is pretty slick, man. Next Torch was sent this out to me to check out. Thank you, Next Torch. I appreciate it. Actually, I'm digging this thing. I opened it up, gave it a quick look over, and right away I was pretty impressed because this is a multi-tool that has tools that I need or can use. Oftentimes, I come across multi-tools where they have a ton of stuff in them. I'm like, I'm never going to use any of that stuff, right? I'm not, naming. There's all kinds of brands out there, right? Like everything from, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's just too much stuff on there. Stuff that you're never going to use on a multi-tool. And so it's just taking up space. It makes it either bigger or bulkier. I'd rather have less stuff, but more usable stuff. And I feel like that's what I'm going to be getting here with this Next Torch. And we're going to be testing this thing out, guys. So this one was actually, I feel like this was more designed to be catered towards first responders, okay? Because a lot of the tools that are in here are geared towards first responders. Not that you can't use it for a lot of other things. The shears in this thing seem really amazing, and shears are always a good thing, right? But I mean, you have rescue shears, plastic handcuff cutters, or flex cuff cutters. You have your regular knife. You have a saw. There's needle nose pliers with wire cutters built in, which come in handy. But overall, in the whole scope of the thing, it's not all taking up a bunch of room. So let's just quit talking about that, right? Let's just get into it. So you open up the box. Got a little instruction booklet there, but it's kind of self-standard. You do have a nice kind of somewhat rigid nylon case with a belt loop back here, so it does have a snap, so you could actually snap this onto some MOLLE if you needed to, or you could just run the butt and run your belt through, carry it on your belt. Take it out. It's got this really nice looking stone wash finish to it. You guys can see that. Looks very nice. You do have a nice pocket clip right here, so if you don't want to run it in that sheath, you can run it in your pocket, or if you have some MOLLE, you could probably slip it up in here in some MOLLE or something like that. You do have a ruler if you need a ruler. If you guys see those little numbers right there, you got a ruler on there as well. So let's jump right into, you do have an oxygen little wrench here for an oxygen tank too. That's something like I've never used an oxygen tank opener, never, ever. I've been around for a while now, guys. I'm old, and I've never had to use an oxygen tank opener, but it's there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not taking up any space. So I'm okay with that, right? So to utilize the flex cuff cutter or the plastic zip tie cutter, however you want to call it, that, right? It's gonna be good. One of those things you can use for multiple things. You have a lock button right here that slides up and down. So if you slide it down, it unlocks. Let me see if we can do this on the camera. Slide this down, and you see that little lever just popped up. You can see the top opens up right here. That is your zip tie flex cutter. And you know what? We are going to test that out. Hold on real quick. Let me go grab. I wanted to test this out legit, so I went and got a pair of actual flex cuffs to cut on here. So let me go grab those real quick. Stand by. All right. Thanks for standing by, guys. I appreciate it. So what we have here is a pair of flex cuffs. I picked these up at a local uniform shop. So these are, you put them on, zip them up, whatever. So if you're a first responder and you're using things like that, you might have to, put these on, say a protester or something. Got to come in here, just put that flex cuff right in there, squeeze this down, cut it off. Real easy. No problem. Let's cut this other piece off right here. And guys, these are pretty thick. These aren't exactly like the thinnest little things in the world. Come in here. Look at that, cutting that off nicely. Cut. Easy. Cut those off without a problem. So if you had to cut some smaller zip ties off, things like that. You know, sometimes when you open up a package and everything's zip tied around the cardboard, it's a pain in the butt. And you just get this and tick, 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 done, right? So whenever you're done cutting off your flex cover zip ties, you just close this up, slide this up. Now it's locked shut. You do have a knife on here. So you have a nice knife that has a locking mechanism. There is a liner lock setup right here, if you guys can see that. So you do have a nice kind of blunt tip. There's not really much of a tip here for like piercing, but there's just a little bit of a tip there if you needed to. But you know, if you had to come in, easily come in here and do some like cutting some plastic off the zip tie. You can see that there. It's got a nice enough edge. It's going to do your kind of standard cutting task, cutting open some cardboard boxes, things like that. You might have to cut into some pants or something. You be able to do that, but also with this kind of blunt tip, if you have to pierce into some pants, you're not going to have to necessarily worry about stabbing the person as well, which could happen on accident. Not something you would do on purpose, but it could happen, you know. So you can push this little lock bar here and close this up so your knife's out of the way. You do have a little screwdriver here. There is one small little kind of screwdriver piece. Little kind of flathead looking little screwdriver. You can see there if you needed that. And then right behind that, there is what's more like a seatbelt cutter there as well. So if you actually had to hook something, kind of pull through like some pants or something like that as well, or like I said, a seatbelt. I don't have a seatbelt, unfortunately. You could theoretically come in there and pull that down as well. You know what? I have a little testing area here where I do my knife testing and stuff. When we go over there, I have some like little poly rope and stuff like that, little like 550 cord. We'll test that out right over there. But before we head over there, since I have some stuff available right here, right now, I wanted to get into those shears. So we'll close that up. We also do have a saw. Very nice, aggressive looking saw. And I will saw into some wood with that as well, just to show you what kind of, how much of a cutting capability the saw has. And you do have that liner lock set up on this as well. So you can push that down, close it right up, ready to go. So those are kind of the tools that are outside. Now let's get to the inside, right? So just pull this apart and bam, you already got some spring loaded shears. And look at these things. I mean, they are legit like rescue shears, nice and thick, kind of serrated, so it's ready to cut through some stuff. So let's say you, for whatever reason, you just happen to have the shears out and you got to cut some flex cuffs off. Can I come in here, cut that piece off, no problem. Look at it, got this little twig stick here, cutting through, no problem. Down here on the thicker piece, cut through it, easy peasy. Lift a little wood junk right there. So I got a couple of things that are really tough to cut right here. So let's try these out. We'll save that right now. This is air compressor hose rated for 3,000 PSI. It's like a nylon reinforced, you know, air compressor hose. So this stuff's made to handle, you know, 3,000 PSI. So let's see if we can cut through this. Easy. God, these are legit shears, guys. I don't know. Just if you can cut through this hose and cut through the flex cut, these are legit. Oftentimes when you get scissors on multi-tools, they're not very good. They're like the real little chintzy ones. Yeah, you can cut some little threads off and stuff. Man, you can cut some stuff with this. Look at this. This is fire hose. This is a piece of fire hose, guys. It came off of an actual fire truck. It's got 2 layers of like this thick canvas. It's cut resistant. Got a piece of rubber in here that's glued in. So let's see if we can just cut. Let's see if we can cut the first layer here of. Yep. I mean, look at that, cutting right through. If you can cut this, you can cut a pair of pants off. Straight up. Legit. Now, here's the piece with the rubber glued inside. It's doubled over. Let's cut through it. Oh, got stuck in the rubber, I think. Oh, there we go. Yeah, got stuck in the rubber. There we go. So a little thick, and so what happened was it did kind of get stuck in the rubber, and then when it kind of caught on itself when I was trying to pull the hand apart, this piece right here started to fold on me. So let's try that again. Let's see if we can cut through this. I know we can cut through it. Like, you can see where it cut into here, but it just kind of got caught up. There we go. So it cuts through. The only problem you run into a little bit is the rubber that's in there wants to kind of bind up the shears, and then when you go to open this, it kind of catches a little bit. But it cut through it, it just kind of catches. Now that's doubled over, so let's see what happens if we open it up. Okay, so we'll open it up, we'll cut it flat. Oh, see, it doesn't bind up and catch when it's a single layer. Look at it, I'm able to cut right through. So I think when it's doubled over like that, it gave it a little bit of an issue, because it basically, that it was so thick that it was binding up the scissors. So if you have something that's a little bit thicker, like when it's folded over, it's not that it won't cut it, it's just kind of the shears get stuck together like this a little bit. So like this is the canvas part. This is doubled over. Let's see how this cuts. And it might just be because of the rubber that's in there. And that seems to be what the issue was, because it just got caught a little bit right there, right at the very end. I was able to double this one over and cut through. And as long as I'm not really going too, like, closing them all the way, and I'm kind of just working it slowly up, it's not catching at all. So very nice, man. These are some legit shears, guys, straight up. Look at that, single layer, cutting right through, no problem. Cutting this hose, no problem. Legit shears. So let's say you don't need the shears anymore, you need some needle nose pliers. Well, you pull this piece out right here like so. You can close this one back up like so, and now this will fall down, and now you have your needle nose pliers, and they're spring loaded as well, so you can, you know, kind of get in there, pinch, and they won't stay, you know, closed on you. They'll open back up if you need them to open back up. And this is where you have your wire cutters built in right here as well. And these are replaceable, so if they get damaged, you can order some replacements, I believe, from Next Torch right here with a couple little Allen heads. And there you go, man. I mean, you got needle nose pliers, and they feel super grippy. I mean, it's kind of hard. How do you test pliers? Like, let's see. I was able to grab onto that. Actually, let's use the little wire cutters and cut that little piece of stick off. Now, granted, those are just supposed to be designed for wire, not wood, but I just kind of want to show you guys could cut if you wanted to. So let's get over here to my knife testing area, and we'll take a look at what the saw and the knife blade can do. Kind of show you guys a little bit of that action, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. But man, I'm kind of I'm impressed with the shears 100% with this. I mean, and the flex cuff cutters, super impressed with that. So let's get over here to my knife testing area real quick. We'll do that cord cuttage and stuff like that. We'll show you how the knife and everything works over there. All right, everybody, we're over here at my knife testing area. Wanted to show you guys. So the cord cutter, right, or seatbelt cutter, if we will. This is just some kind of 550 cord I use for testing knives and stuff like that. Where'd my seatbelt cutter? Oh, there it is. So here's the little seatbelt cutter tool. So we're gonna take a piece of this off. Let's say you just had to hook this. Oh, look at that. Cut right through it. Come in here, show you guys. Easy, cut right through. Now, if you needed to, let's say, cut into some pants, right, or something like that. Let's go. I've been cutting these with a knife, if you could tell. But this is the back pocket, right? So let's hook into here. Obviously, when you get your back pocket, the top piece right here is reinforced, you know. So let's see how we can cut into this. So it kind of slid out on me there because I had to pull, but it definitely did a little cut right there. try to. So got through that thick part. Now let's see if we can come straight. Now it's kind of awkward to do on camera, but oh, yep, look, cut right through the pants right there. Let's try something. Let's go right here. We'll hook into this little hole right here. Don't know this is necessarily. Oh yeah, cut that off easy. Here's another piece that I've started to cut into. Oh, there. Yeah, so it's coming in here and cutting in. It's hooking and cutting it, cutting pants. You can absolutely do that. Some cordage, little cordage like that, you can do that. This is that yellow poly rope. Now, obviously, this is probably too big of a piece to fit into this little cutter. Like I said, I think this is obviously designed to be for seat belts. But what we can do is we'll pull a strand of this off. This stuff is pretty tough to cut. It's a little bit thicker than that 550 cord. So we'll come in here. I'll hook in, pull it, and see if I can get it to fold over on itself. There we go. Okay, I need a bigger piece. That one slid out on me. Problem is this one's kind of cut right here, and I'm running out of places to grab it. Oh, there we go. Yep, cut it right off. So sorry guys, I needed a longer piece to be able to really hold on to it, but there we go. Yeah, cut it 2 pieces. So cutting that thicker poly rope, yeah, this little seat belt cutter thingy can cut some rope, some thicker stuff. If it can cut, definitely cut a seat belt if you needed to. Let's check out this blade real quick. So here we got the blade. We're going to open this up. Again, let's say you needed to cut some rope, right? Come in here, again, cut the rope easily. Let's say you got to cut something a little thicker. I don't know. This is pretty thick, guys. This is super thick yellow poly rope. Let's put this down right here. There you go. Cut a big little chunk of it. I really need to tape off my ends because you end up making a big mess like this. So if you had to cut some of that poly rope, yeah, you could absolutely do it. Actually, oh yeah, I do have some more in here. Damn, sorry, I had some more in here. So here's a full yellow piece, right? Come in here, cut right through, not a problem. So this knife is going to do its basic knife cutting task that you need it to do. You want to get a little bit crazier or a little bit funner. Let's say this is the only tool you had on you and you needed to try to get a fire started, so you had to make some fire curls, right? You're going to do a little woodworking, little wood processing to make your fire. Can you make some little fire curls with this? Oh, there went one. Yeah, you can make some curls. I mean, are they the best curls in the world? No, but this isn't necessarily a knife that's designed to be making fire curls either. But you can. You could come in there and do that. Or if you had to make a quick little spear, you can come in here and hog off material like so. Look at that. I mean, those are some pretty good chunks of wood that's hogging off. So you guys can see there. And then of course you could save that to make your fire as well. And it's still decently sharp. It's still sharp edge. So close that up. Now let's check out the saw. So you have your saw here, right? Let's say you need to make again this is what you had on you. Your patrol car wrecked. You're stuck out in the woods for the night. You got to make a little trap, or you got to make a notch, right, for a tent stake. So let me get into my handy dandy bucket of fun. So you use your knife to make your spear point, but now you got to make a notch to wrap your paracord around so you can use this as a tent stake, right? So come in here and we're gonna set this down. This is a 3/4 inch hardwood dowel. So the stuff you find out in the woods would be soft, but so this is hard, so it's definitely putting a test to this saw blade. Yep, it's doing it. Sawing. So you had to make some notches or cuts, or even cut through a branch. Again, if this was green, it would probably cut even easier, like even faster. But I'm kind of one of those guys that likes to go. I don't like to go so hard on something that it breaks, because, you know, obviously you got to take care of your tools. Your tools will take care of you. I do like to push them a little bit, because you want to make sure that if you do have to use it in a harder situation, it will hold up. Yeah, so see there, saw it in a nice little notch. So you could, you know, loop your paracord in there so it's stuck in the ground, loops around there. Or like I said, maybe you just had to cut a piece of wood in half, a little stick or something. This is a piece of seasoned almond wood. Stuff is super hard. So let's see what... Sawing through this pretty good. I think because it's a longer piece, I can hold on to it better too. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to cut it off clean. I could break it off right now, it'd be fine, but I'm trying to really get that kind of clean cut. There we go. Not bad. Look at that. Pretty nice clean cut there. So yeah, the saw is aggressive enough that it's going to be able to saw through some wood, make you some notches, maybe cut you off some small branches or something like that. It didn't feel like it was going to give out on my hand or anything like that. It stayed locked in place. So the frame lock works really good. Can't complain about that. Yeah. One thing I did want to do is get this poly rope here. You had to cut this poly rope with the shears. Look at that, cut that right off. Cut through that poly rope easily. Obviously you're going to cut through the paracord. I'm not going to really give a mess of that. And then we did cut the jeans, didn't we? Look at that, nice clean cut. Cut a little square out. Make yourself a little cleaning patch for your, you know, whatever. Whatever you need to cut a patch out for. Man, I just dig this thing, man. It's just cool because, like I said, it's got, you know, kind of everything you kind of need without a bunch of the other stuff, you know. Got those flex cuff cutters. I mean, you got your pliers. You can pick up stuff. It's poly rope right here. Let's see those wire cutters. Yeah, wire cutters don't really cut the poly rope too well, but again, that's not what they're designed for. And I kind of got that stuck in there. Yeah, got that stuck in there. So I wouldn't suggest trying to cut poly rope with the pliers, with the needle nose, the wire cutters. Doesn't quite work for that. Not exactly what it's designed for though, so works good there. So as long as you're cutting, you know, what you're supposed to. Guess, hey, let's try something. Hey, that's part of this whole process though, right? That's like, we want to see, hey, what can't this do? Let's get these let's get this little flex cutter out. Let's see, this is the 550 cord. Almost cut through it. Not quite. So will the flex cutter necessarily cut rope? Not necessarily. Will the wire cutters necessarily cut rope? Not necessarily. But they're not designed to do that either. So keep that in mind. If you're going to cut the rope, pants, things like that, utilize the tools in here that are there for it, aka the shears. So, man, pretty impressed with this, guys. This next Torch Pioneer, like like I said, has a lot of the things in it that I think first responders, you know, EMS, first responders, firefighters, police, military, military medics, things like that. I mean, there's tools in here that I think can be very useful for those people. And there's tools in here that are very useful for just the everyday person. I would totally carry this around, no problem, because the tools that are in here are tools that I would use on a normal basis. I don't necessarily need an awl in my multi-tool. You know, I don't necessarily need the can opener in my multi-tool. You know, if I was going backpacking or hiking, okay, cool. I could see having the can opener then maybe. But for most everyday carry situations, pretty much what's in here is going to get you through. So this is definitely a tool worth looking into if you're looking for those type of things. Again, just for the shears alone, I think you're looking at a really nice package between the needle pliers and the shears. Fantastic, right? Because like I said, most of the time the scissors that come on multi-tools are garbage. They don't, I mean, they'll cut some t-shirt or something, but nothing else really. These are legit shears. All right, everybody, that's the next Torch Pioneer. Definitely check one out. I'll have a link below for you if you guys are interested in picking one of these up. I'll have a link to Next Torch's website. If I can find this, some other links, maybe Amazon, stuff like that, I'll put those down below as well. But go check it out, guys. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay bright, carry on, and we'll see you on the next one.